I pulled the privacy curtain around my bed so I could get changed while the nurse went over some things with my aunt and uncle. I didn't really want to go back to wearing diapers during the day, but given that they said the car ride would be several hours long, the last thing I wanted was to have a leak in their car. That would be a marvelous first impression. The nurse was going over some details of my treatment with my aunt and uncle. I didn't catch much of what she said, but my ears perked up when she brought up my incontinence issues. I suppose that couldn't be avoided, but I was glad I had the curtain between me and them at the moment. When I pulled back the curtain, the nurse was handing my uncle a large, cardboard box. I wondered for a second what was in the box, and then realized that it must be extra diapers, pull-ups, and wipes for me. My aunt and uncle hadn't made a big deal about the diaper last time, but it still wasn't a conversation I was looking forward to having with them. "There's just a few more things we need to go over quick before you leave," the attorney said to me. The attorney gave me a brief rundown of the expectations they had for me. My aunt and uncle were now my legal guardians, so I had to obey like they were my parents. I would need to avoid getting into any further trouble. And I would need to start going to a regular school. Since spring is nearly over and it doesn't make sense having me get started this late in the year, I'd need to wait until fall, when I would be starting high school. Until then, I'd have several private tutors who would be working with me to make sure I was ready academically. To be honest, I hadn't thought much about school. Kindergarten had been a first-rate disaster. I had only been able to hide my lack of appropriate toileting skills for 3 days before a leaky pull-up. My teacher hadn't been taking me to the nurse to get changed as much as she should have, gave the game away.